Hello there, welcome to Firearms of America. In this video I wanted to really quickly explain to you why you should not take the experimental jab. First of all, let me show you what experimental jab is, right? This is your regular jab, alright? This is your experimental jab. So you might be thinking, why is it bad? It looks pretty much exactly the same. Let's start with the reason number one. Reason number one, your regular jab, alright? In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, alright? Your experimental jab, and it stays there, and it stays there forever. You can't go back. Once you do the experimental jab, you can't go back. So that's the reason number one. There is no going back once you do the experimental jab. Alright, now let's talk about the reason number two. Again, your regular jab. Alright, your regular jab. Been around forever. I mean, forever. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's been doing it for a while. It's been out there forever. The known technique. Alright? Experimental jab, as you can see, it's not your regular jab. It's different. It's really completely different. Not only it stays there, alright, forever, it's also completely different. Something new, something that has never been done before. Keep that in mind. That's the reason number two, alright? Now the reason number three, your regular jab, in and out, and you can concentrate on different areas. If you're just jabbing, you can do stomach, you can do chest, you can do face, or head, whatever. And then you make combos. You can do the hooks, you can do uppercuts. Alright, you got all of that, right? With the experimental jab, however, you can only attack one area and done. But once you do that, here's the kicker. Once you do that, once you throw that experimental jab, now, while you're attacking one area, you have all of this right here open. So you're just standing there like this, while the opponent can concentrate on all of this, all of these areas that are open, alright? And that's just the way the experimental jab works. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Once you do it, it stays there. And all of these areas are open, alright? So the regular jab, experimental jab, not good, alright? And the very last, the very important reason why you shouldn't be messing with the experimental jab, alright? The most important reason is the origination of the experimental jab. You see, experimental jab is coming from the boxing camp called Wrapspeed, and I actually know a few coaches from that camp, and trust me, they're not a little bit sketchy. Let's just use that for the purposes of this video. Those boxing coaches in boxing camp called Wrapspeed are a little bit sketchy. Now let's concentrate on the name, alright? Why did they call the boxing camp Wrapspeed, alright? I'll explain. I know the answer to this one. Well, here's the thing. Whenever you're working on your boxing moves, right? Typically, normally, there are three stages, right? So you have your brand new jab, right, that you're working on. Let's say it's a jab to the stomach, or it's a double jab, or it's a triple jab, right? And you want to implement it, so what do? Well, the first stage is the experimental stage, all right? The development stage. The development stage is the first stage, all right? The experimental stage is the second one, and then the third one, well, let's just call it distribution stage for the purposes of this video, right? So you have your development stage. You're in the gym, you're working on your new triple jab. It's very slow, and it takes a lot of time making sure that you perfect it. You perfect the move. You got your protection cover for everything else. You don't leave your hand out. You make sure that it's reversible. So you're going, you're working on your moves and you're working on your combos. That is your development stage, all right? Now, the second stage is the experimental stage. This is the sparring, where you come out and now you have your brand new jab, right? Your triple jab, and you're against, not the back, you're against the actual opponent, all right? This is the experimental stage. So you're trying out your brand new move. You're working. All right, so this is the development stage. This is the experimental stage in the sparring, in the ring. You're trying it out, all right? So you might be wondering, so what is the third distribution stage? Let's just call it that, right? Because why not? Sounds pretty good. Now the distribution stage is where you actually go and you take your brand new jab that you came up with, that you have been developing for a while in the gym, that you have been experimenting on for a while in the ring. Now in your pro fight, in your professional fight, you are implementing that brand new triple jab. This is the distribution stage. So what is so different about the boxing camp Wrapspeed, and why is it called Wrapspeed? Well, here's the reason why. They called it Wrapspeed because all these 3 stages, instead of doing it like the rest of the world, all the normal people, all the people with common sense, where you do stage 1 and then stage 2 and then stage 3. No, they combine the stages and they do all 3 stages at the same time, which makes absolutely no freaking sense, which is really the main reason why you shouldn't do the experimental jab or anything experimental for that matter that comes out from this freaking boxing camp with these weird freaking coaches. Here's how it works, right? You're in an experimental stage. So you just learned the new jab. This is the new experimental jab. Alright? So instead of working on it for years, developing it, perfecting it, at the same time they're experimenting it on their own boxers, on the people who are willing to take that jab. And at the same time they're throwing them under the bus and they're throwing them on the professional ring to mess with that experimental jab. So you can see how many things can go wrong whenever you do something like that. It's always about 3 stages. You develop, you experiment, and then you distribute once you know that you perfected your move. And this is not the case with the boxing camp Wrapspeed. Keep that in mind and keep your face covered. No experimental jabs. Yeah. Rub thing. Experimental hook. Hey there, thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate your time. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing because that definitely helps. All the support that I can get now. YouTube has been after me for a while now because I'm an immigrant, because I am conservative, and that does go against the narrative. Having a gun channel on YouTube is not easy. So if you can, please consider supporting me through the Patreon. Now the link is in the description below, and if you don't know what Patreon is a subscription service where you can help out your favorite creators, and I hope that I am one of those favorite. So please consider that. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.